Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Clangin and Bangin with Mikey, episode 210. And today we're just going to talk about we'll talk about a plethora of different things first. The back of my mind, what's in you can't really I was pondering this in the back of my mind the other day. I was like, it's like, hey, you can't get mad when somebody shows you their true colors and you still stay, right? Because believe it or not, we're in the season of people having babies with people who don't need to having babies with. We're in a season of people getting married and they have no business getting married, um, for a plethora of different reasons. Um, Everybody loves the idea of marriage until you're married, until you realize like, oh shit, this is some actual work. And yeah, that's an interesting thing because people want to be like, oh, I didn't realize that marriage is gonna be work. I'm like, what do you think it is, bro? Like this isn't her, you picking her up from a strip club, picking up from a club, whatever it is, and going home sleeping with her. This isn't some one night, runoff, This is somebody that you made a commitment to. This is somebody that you know, did vows with the whole nine. And it's like a lot of people either can't or won't, um, they can't or won't, honor those vows. And what's sad for it too is that people will look at this situation and they know it's not a good fit. They know it's not something that's gonna work out in the long run, whether it's a year, whether it's 6 months or 26 years. You know what I mean? Or however long time the period of time is. It's like I've seen guys get married in a year, less than a year later, they get divorced. Like I think one of my homegirls when we was like 20 or 21, she had gotten married, and by the time she was 23, she was divorced with a kid. And it's like, damn, okay. Um, and it's interesting, and then people want to sit there and complain. I'm like, no, it was like, you knew what the red flags were. You just thought that, you just didn't want to pay attention to them for whatever reason. I now look at you, you're dealing with this. And a lot of people will be like, well, I didn't get boom. I was like, no, it's like, you knew what it was. You know, you just thought that it wouldn't apply to you, right? You thought that it wouldn't know, that you would be exception to the rule, you know. And I heard this saying when I was a youngster coming up, and the guy who told me the shit, he's like, hey man, sometimes dog is like, why buy the cow when when you are getting the milk? And it's true, And I didn't know what that meant until years later, you know. But they're like, if you're doing the bare minimum, you still getting the results that you wanted. Why buy the cow? And it makes sense, Everybody wants to talk about, oh yeah, I want to get married, boom, 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 boom. But it's like, okay, you want to get married to do X, Y, and Z, but I've seen how you deal with conflict. I've seen the type of men or women that you choose. I see that. And if you can't handle something as simple as a disagreement, um, then it's not gonna work. Um, my bad, Dr. Sarah Fonte, who I follow on IG, what she said is true. She had this clip once that said, dating should be hard, marriage should be easy. You know, and it's true when you think about it. Too many people like they get involved with people who don't know how to handle conflict, and don't know how to do X, Y, and Z, and then they compound the situation by getting married to this individual when it shouldn't even have gotten past date one. You know, I've had situations where, you know, me and the girl go out and there's no connection, and sometimes I'll be like, hey, you know, thank you, but no thank you. It's cool, you know. And sometimes the girl will be like, hey, you know, thank you, but no thank you, and it's cool, you know. There's no point to keep giving energy to a situation where it's not being reciprocated. Like, why would you do that, right? It doesn't make any sense. And a lot of people will be like, oh, I wanted this, I wanted that. Like, bro, it doesn't matter what you wanted, you know. Like, what you wanted is completely separate from what the reality of the situation is, right? It's like, take for instance, last night, a few people and we went to the strip club for an individual's birthday, and some of the people were talking about, like, oh, you know, like, oh, like, is your girlfriend gonna get mad that you came to a strip club? I was like, no, she knows I'm here. You know? She knows that I'm out there just, you know, having fun with my friends or whatnot, you know? Like, she's not gonna trip because it's not like I gotta sneak around. It's not like I gotta do X, Y, and Z, because I don't, you know? And it's like, getting back to the people who get married to the wrong individuals, is like, they're the same ones running the social media saying X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, you really can't get mad at that, because everybody saw the red flags, everybody tried to warn you, and it didn't work. What's sad too is, like, when these girls get married, or when these guys get married and they want to sit there and complain about it, I'm like, no, bro, you can't. You can't complain, because you got warned beforehand, and you just ignored it. You ignored it, and now you got to deal with it. And now it's like, it's something you can't control. You know, there's only so many times you can talk to somebody and be like, you know, you don't get it. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, talking to somebody, counseling them. The difference is, it's like, you have to come to a point of realization. It's like, okay, like, do you not want to see it because we all see it, or are you that dumb where you can't see it? You know, it's especially disheartening when you got women saying, well, I want my ex, you know, soon to be ex-husband, to be a good dad to my kids. He never was a good dad to your kids when you were married. What are you talking about? Like, he never was a good dad. It's like, how do you expect somebody to be something that they never were? And when they've clearly shown you that they have no intentions of ever being that. Yeah, I mean, it's like, you can't get mad at that. Like, what are you gonna do? Get mad at them for being them? You know, it's like I said last week, and it's like I said in I should probably start labeling these little minute videos in the truck to, like, truck chronicles, because it's like, it's true, because I drop gems every morning before I go to work. And even with that, man, it's like, people have to stop being so naive, you know, and ignorant to the situation. This is like, no. It's like, it is what it is, you know. But to pivot on to something else, man, I'm actually, let's see, I'm actually working on the Scorpion album. The album most likely gonna get pushed back, just simply because I didn't anticipate being this busy. I didn't anticipate having all this stuff pop off. But me and my partner, who actually runs his own label, independently as well, we're teaming up and we're working on the album together. And it should be an interesting concept, man. It's like Scorpio times Scorpio. It's probably gonna be out sometime in the summertime, you know, rather than the fall. Rather than the spring. So, but yeah, I think it's really it sucks when people put all their eggs in one basket and they realize that what they had wasn't nothing at all. It was just a facade. Like it wasn't nothing that was concrete, wasn't permanent. And there's a difference between having disagreements and having fights and just having cracks in the foundation. But there's also the differences between like, yo, like I can put some cement in this bitch, and we can build upon this foundation with the concrete filling in the cracks. It's like you have to be able to understand that it's bigger than you, and you can't keep going back to somebody and expecting them to do right when all they've done is do wrong. Like I'm saying again, you can't go back and expect somebody to do right when all they've done is do wrong. Like, it's like the husband who cheats on his wife and she takes him back. And then 20 years later, she wants to complain about all the cheating that he did. Like, you can't complain about that. Because you chose to stay. You chose to be that woman. You chose to be disrespected. You chose to put up with being the second option. That's the difference. You chose to be you chose to be that. And so you can't get mad when what you're being chose with shows up. Like, what are you gonna do when you finally get tired? What are you gonna do when you spent decades in a marriage that was over in year one? I know people who've been married for 45 years. Husband goes on a trip, never comes back. He gets his divorce papers mailed to his house. Divorcing his wife by mail. And everybody wants to say 45 years and boom, 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 boom. It's like, that's a long ass time. But at the same time, it's like, do you really want to be around that? Obviously you're doing something wrong. To the point is that you're willing to throw away 45 years. When you know good and goddamn well that you probably shouldn't have went past year one or year two. And it's also, too, having people understand, that you're an individual, too. I'm big on this, where I've told my girlfriend numerous times, like, baby, you can go off and do whatever you want. Like, I want you to be an individual, while you're in a relationship with me, but at the same time, we don't have to go everywhere together. We don't have to go, do X, Y, and Z together. We don't have to do all that extra shit because, like, you have your people, I have my people. You have your friends, I have my friends. You have your hobbies, I have my hobbies. And if you want to expose me to your shit, cool. I'm never going to trip on the fact, like, oh, you going out with so-and-so. Like, yeah, what's the issue? Or it's like when girls get all... Take, for instance, going to the strip club, right? Girls be like, oh, like my man went to the strip club. Okay, cool, but he came home with you, right? He came home to you, right? Like, what's the big deal? Or it's like, I've known people who've pondered taking people back and then get mad about it when, get mad at the other individual when they find out the other individual is still doing the same shit that they were doing before that caused them to break up, which is cheating, right? I'm like, well, what you expect? It's like, it's not hard to figure out. It's like, it's not something that's like, oh my God, he did X, Y, and Z. It's like, Why are you shocked about that? Like it's nothing to write home about. You know, everybody knew he wasn't shit except you. So at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, like you can do X, Y, and Z, but it really doesn't matter because it's like he never cared about you, was never gonna care about you, and that's what it is. It's like people have to stop being delusional, and they have to start looking at the reality of the situation. It's like tonight's conversation, right? They have a bunch of plethora of different topics and everything like that too. And this one lady had asked something. She said, "Oh, why do why do good men or why do men say they want a good woman, do all this shit to to get a good woman and like then just fall off?" And Ace Metaphor was like, "Who says he wanted you? He just said he wanted a good woman. Doesn't mean he was gonna stop doing what he's doing." And it's true. Like you ask any guy out there, you know, we're gonna be like, yeah. It's like, I didn't want her. I just wanted her because she's available. You know? Or she gave me some attention. So I played it up to my advantage. And did I get the ass? Most likely yes, I did. Or here's another thing too. Well, women are delusional. And so are men to a point. Uh just because you have random hookup sex with somebody or casual sex with somebody doesn't mean you go together. You know, it doesn't mean that you know that they'll text you good morning or good night, whatever it is, because you're not an item. You're just a girl who got fucked. Like I hate to tell you that, but it's the truth. It's like a lot of these women think, oh well, I gave up the coochie with you, now he's into me. No, he's not. I hate to break it to you, but he's not. Like, stop thinking that it's some sort of like um obligation, that now he's got to talk to you or she's got to talk to you, because it's like, I'm sorry, it's not. You know, I once had a girl. She tried to be friends, after we had already smashed. I'm like, no, we're not friends. I don't I don't have sex with my friends, and it's true because I don't. Um, and to me, that's always weird when girls want to do that. I'm like no, no, because once you cross that boundary, I'm sorry, there's nothing you can do to bring that shit back. Like you can't be like, oh my god, but I did this and did like nobody asked you to though. You know, nobody told you to do that. You decided to do that. And you can't get mad at that when somebody tells you exactly what it is. It's like what are you gonna do? Get mad at that because the person's been honest? Just because he slept with you doesn't mean that you have, that they owe you communication. Or it doesn't mean, like, take for instance too, like let's say you have somebody that all you all do is hook up. They can't get mad about, or you can't get mad at them for them treating the situationship like it is. It's purely just a hookup. Why would somebody get mad about how they're treated if all they're ever offering is sex, and that's the only thing? They're not like, y'all ain't going to the movies, y'all ain't going to, you're not going to amusement park or beaches or whatever it is. You're not doing X, Y, and Z. And all y'all doing, and the main thing is that you're not meeting anybody of importance to each individual. Like, it is what it is. It's like all you doing is popping up and laying in somebody's sheets. That's not. It's not a relationship, man. It's like, and if all you gonna offer is just basically just that, then there's no point. It doesn't make any point to make something more than what it is, And I think at the end of the day, a lot of people will try to do that. They'll try to force something that's not there, and then get mad when it isn't there. And I'm like, it never was there. It's like, it's idiotic to think that there is something more there to a situation when you're constantly being told that there's not. It's idiotic to think that, I did X, Y, and Z, boom, 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 boom. You know what? Cool, great. But on the flip side, nobody asked you to do that. And nobody held a gun to your head and told you to do that. You decided to do that. So if you decided to do that, that's 100% on you. Don't sit there and be like, well, I did this. I did. Like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't compute, because if you're doing that to count favors, you're not doing it at all. You're not doing it because you genuinely want the other person to be okay. You're doing it because you want to throw it in their face later on. Oh, well, I did this, I did that. Like, okay, cool. Nigga, I pay my credit card bills every month. I pay my bills every month. You don't see me, beating my chest for that. And a lot of people they won't understand that, and it's okay. It's not meant for them to understand it. And I think it's extremely important to realize that a lot of people have to look in the mirror and be like, yo, the reason why my shit is the way it is because of me. It's not because of X, Y, and Z. It's not because of, my fucked up family situation or whatever it is. It's because I failed to get my shit together. It's like, it's as simple as that. Like, make it make sense, dude. Like, stop thinking that people owe you something. Stop thinking that people owe you, anything in general. Start becoming a better person, And to wrap all this up, when I was talking about marriage in the very beginning, 23 minutes ago, it's imperative that you understand that, man. It's like just because you stuck out a situation so long, it doesn't mean that they owe you anything. Now, financially, obligations, if y'all have kids together, yes, they owe them kids a lot. Because like them kids didn't ask to be here. The fact that y'all did what y'all did, is why their kids are here. And if they can't understand that, then they've never understood it to begin with. Like, you can't sit there and be like, and get mad at something when they've shown you from the very beginning that they wasn't the one. You can't sit there and just have this, these visions and these thoughts and these, I don't know, asking yourself, why can't she do this or why can't she do that? Bro, you're asking the person to be something that, like I said, like, they can't be. You're asking somebody to be something that they don't know how to be. And the whole entire time you stayed. And now you're mad about the fact that you stayed when you were given every single out to leave. Yeah? Like, you can't get mad at that. Stop getting mad at the other person and go find the mirror and get mad at yourself. Because we're all in charge of our own life. We're all in charge of the shit that we do and don't do. I call it being responsible for your actions and be responsible for your inactions. Okay, you decided to stay. Cool. it didn't work out. Leave it at that. Don't drag other people in it. Don't say, he or she was a cheater, this and this and that. Yeah, just, like, I get it, it sucks. But at the same time, like I said, you're asking somebody to be something that they can't be. You're asking somebody to be something that they've shown you numerous times that they can't do it. So don't get mad. Don't get mad at them. Get mad at yourself for not realizing that you deserve better. Way, 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 way prior to you ever leaving a situation. There's a difference between women who get left and the women who get, who leave, or people who leave in general. And you can tell the difference. The people who get left are super bitter, super manipulative, super pissed off all the time. The people who leave, they're usually the happiest because they finally wake up and realize, like, yo, this isn't working. Men or women, it's not working. It's not worth my stress. It's not worth my mental health. It's not worth my physical health. It's just not worth it overall. All right, y'all. This is 26 minutes of your life that y'all won't get back. Hope y'all keeping the 4 piece, private player, positive pushing. See y'all next week. I love y'all. Like I always say, know your worth because you're better than what you are. Peace. All right, y'all. Later.